Welcome to the Trellix Spotlight series. My name is Nick, and I will be your host. Today we have a special session, Beyond Detection, Rapid Response, and Deep Forensics with EDRF. This webinar will be recorded. If you prefer not to participate in the recorded session, please feel free to disconnect at this time. A link to today's recorded presentation will be emailed to all registered attendees. This webinar is a brief overview covering common use cases and scenarios regarding this topic. It is not intended to be all-encompassing. If assistance is needed, please contact Trellix Technical Support. If you have questions during the webinar, please type them in the Q&A window. This webinar may run longer or shorter based on your participation, and we recommend asking as many questions as you can to make the most of this series. If the Q&A window is not displayed, click the tab at the bottom of your session window and click on the Q&A icon. We will answer the questions during the final section of this webinar. If you experience any audio issues during the webcast, please drop and attempt to reconnect. Our speakers today are Swapnil Ahirao and Kaustubh Chaturvedi. Swapnil is a seasoned senior product manager at Trellix, bringing a decade of experience in cybersecurity product management. He excels at transforming innovative concepts into profitable revenue streams. Swapnil's strategic vision and deep expertise have been instrumental in driving product success and delivering significant value in the dynamic cybersecurity domain. His insights into next-generation endpoint security and the evolving threat landscape make him an invaluable contributor to our discussion today. Kaustubh is a product manager for endpoint detection and response at Trellix, specializing in cybersecurity product management. Kaustubh brings extensive expertise in solving complex customer problems and delivering innovative, tangible solutions. He has had product responsibilities with enterprise services in EDR, MDR, vulnerability management, email security, and SASE. His background collaborating directly with managed detection and response and security operations center practitioners provides a unique, frontline user-centric perspective essential for today's discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, Swapnil and Kaustubh.
Thank you, Nick. We are excited to introduce Trellix EDR with forensics. Today, we'll discuss why staying ahead in a rapidly changing cyber world is important. We'll explore how Trellix EDR with forensics goes beyond detection through core capabilities. Key benefits for your security team. Kaustubh will provide a demo, followed by an overview of why EDRF is important. The threat landscape is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Adversaries are no longer using simple malwares. They are employing sophisticated stealthy techniques like fileless attack, living of the land binaries, and targeted campaigns designed to evade traditional EDR defenses. This sophistication leads to significant challenges for SOC analysts, like alert fatigue from overwhelming volumes, critical visibility gaps that hide the true attack story, and painfully slow response time that allows threats to develop and cause maximum damage. As per Sophos, the State of Ransomware 2024 report, in 2024, 59% of organizations were hit by ransomware attacks. This number is slightly less than as compared to 2023, which was 66%. However, the impact of ransomware has increased by 5x and 50% increase in the recovery cost. The global average cost of the data breach in 2024 was $4.9 million, which is 10% increase over last year as per IBM Cost of Data Breach Report 2024. The cost of data breach is staggering, constantly rising. Organizations are looking for more than just detection. They need deep understanding and rapid action. This urgent need of more comprehensive approach bring us to next generation solution, which is Trellix EDRF. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to Trellix EDRF, Enhanced Endpoint Detection and Response with Forensics. Trellix EDR with forensics represents a significant evolution in endpoint security, combining the best of Trellix endpoint security HX and Trellix EDR into one powerful unified platform. This integration empowers you not to only just detect advanced threats with greater precision, but also to investigate and respond to them with unparalleled efficiency. The simplified workflows and Trellix-wise AI-guided investigation with actionable insights reduce the alert fatigue and empowers analysts to rapidly understand and neutralize threats. The F in EDRF is what's truly set us apart. Forensics. It means we are not just telling you something happened, we are giving you the power to ask what exactly happened, how, and why. EDRF integrates deep forensic capability directly into the EDRF workflow, making them a core part of your security operation. Let's discuss how Trellix EDRF forensic stands apart from the competition. All forensic action, including complex ones like process memory, raw disk, driver memory, full memory, and registry collection, can be performed remotely without requiring remote shell access to the endpoints. These forensic actions are also available on the interactive process tree and are contextual. Critical forensic artifacts are automatically collected post detections. Forensic is an integral part of the product and a core building capability available for every incident rather than an add on. Our forensic actions offer extensive customization to meet specific user needs. We support the collection of approximately 11 event types, allowing users to gather specific attributes. EDRF provides granular data and immediate insights needed for true root cause analysis and a complete understanding of the entire attack chain. EDRF is built on three interconnected pillars that works in harmony to give you unparalleled control, enhanced detection, deep forensics, a rapid response. First, enhanced detection goes beyond signature-based method and advanced analytics, behavioral monitoring, and AI-driven threat intelligence. This allows EDRF to spot on most evasive threats, from fileless malware to living of the land attacks, often before they fully execute. EDRF is capable of detecting range of sophisticated techniques, include process injection techniques like code injection, malware-specific injections, and generic suspicious injections, and many more like DLL, process executable, and more. Privilege escalation technique like abuse of elevation, control mechanism, and access token manipulation. Also detect exfiltration based on API, PowerShell, and command line tools. The unified sensor stack bring together EDR and forensics technology, providing best detection efficacy and better coverage of MITRE framework. The Trellix EDRF prioritize the critical threats, helps analysts to focus on what important and reduce the threat of attack. EDRF leverages the threat intelligence backed by Trellix expertise, leading threat intelligence and security research. The unified sensor stack provides comprehensive endpoint telemetry, deep data on process, network activities, file changes, and user action, which forms the bedrock of every investigation. Next, in the critical deep forensics. This is where EDRF truly shines. Upon detections, EDRF automatically collects critical forensic artifacts like memory, registry, file system details. Our interactive process tree visually reconstructs the entire attack chain. You can literally see the story of attack unfold. We enable timeline reconstruction to pinpoint events and their exact order and allow deep dive into file system and registry changes to uncover hidden precedents or data manipulation. Trellix Trellix-wise AI-guided investigation simplifies the attack picture in the plain language, empowering L1 and L2 analysts to accelerate their investigation. You can perform forensic actions without needing remote shell access to endpoints. Modern simplified workflows allow analysts to perform contextual forensic action directly on the interactive process tree during investigation. The third pillar, rapid response, EDRF provides immediate granular control at the endpoint level. This means you can remotely terminate any malicious process, securely delete infected files, and instantly quarantine specific threats. The goal here is crucial to enable rapid cleanup and restore endpoint integrity swiftly, minimizing the attack's dwell time and potential damage. This isn't just data, it's intelligence. Our AI provided actionable insights and comprehensive details about the threat, and the knowledge graph helps to connect the dots. More importantly, it offers suggestive action. This intelligence guidance drastically reduces the cognitive load on your analysts, helping them make faster, more informed decisions and significantly reducing your overall time to respond. Seamlessly integrate with existing SIEM, SOAR, and a ticketing system. This integration automates data flow and response workflows, enhancing your overall operation efficiency and ensuring that EDRF works hand in hand with your broader security ecosystem. Let's go through the key benefits. EDRF is powered by Trellix leading threat intelligence combined with deep forensic capabilities, simplified workflows, and top of by Trellix-wise AI work together to significantly accelerate incident response, directly reducing your mean time to detect and mean time to respond. The unified sensor stack, seamlessly combining Trellix endpoint security HX and Trellix EDR, delivers comprehensive endpoint telemetry. This, along with AI guided investigation and interactive process tree and contextual forensic action, drives enhanced efficiency and a complete understanding of every incident. Sorry. By leveraging advanced analytics, unified sensor stack, continuous behavior monitoring, and robust AI/ML driven threat intelligence, EDRF helps you to build and maintain a significantly strong security posture. Our AI guided investigation, paired with interactive process tree and rich contextual forensic data, collectively leads to dramatically improved decision making for your security teams. Overall, EDRF ensures you achieve a more robust security posture, enabling you to generate highly accurate and detailed reports, which in turn simplifies your compliance effort. It's demo time. Let's see how EDRF simplifies the investigation process. I will hand over to Kastub.
Thanks, Swapnil. Really excited to bring this demo together. We have a lot of new capabilities to show today in the Trellix EDR with Forensics product that is powered by a single agent, and it empowers analysts and investigators with extensive forensics and generative AI capabilities. All right, so here we are in our EDR console and it lands us into this monitoring tab, which really gives an analyst a complete overall view of the state of the endpoint health into the enterprise. So at a glance, we can see all of the threats that have come through within the platform in the past 30 days. We certainly have an option to switch this time frame from past couple of hours to weeks and 30, even 30 days and beyond. We could look at prioritizing the threats by ranking, which would sort all of these threats in order of severity. So high severity threats coming on top, followed by medium severity threats, and then followed by low severity threats. We could also look at prioritizing threats by time to see the threats that have come through most recently into the platform. All right, so let's start diving into one of these high severity threats that have come through most recently. And let's see how Trellix EDR with forensics enables analysts to do faster investigation, collection of forensic evidence, and mitigating threats all from within the single console. So as we start diving into this specific threat, we see some metadata available here in terms of when was this threat first detected, when was it last detected, what are the number of affected devices, and some high level process attributes related to the parent process that initiated this specific threat. As the investigation proceeds, the analysts have a couple of options to take actions from here, such as creating an investigation, which would move this specific threat to the investigation workflow of EDRF platform that we have, which is more like a analyst workbench. They have an option to exclude this from threats, which would kind of set up an exclusion rule related to these specific attributes such as the hash value, file path, and command line, so that anytime in the future if this specific attributes are seen in the organization, then the threat would not be generated or the analyst would not be alerted. At the same time, we have an option to dismiss the threat, which would move this specific threat out of the monitoring dashboard for now. But however, at any time in the future, if this same attribute or if this same similar threat is noticed in the organization, then a new threat would be created and the relevant SOC analysts would be alerted related to that threat again. As we move forward, we can start looking at some of the initial analysis that is available by default out of the box from the platform. So we can start by looking at the number of devices that got impacted and some related information about them. We could look at the threat behavior and the suspicious activities that generated this specific threat and all of the underlying events that led to this specific threat being created. We can also look at all of the techniques observed as part of this threat, and all of that gets by default mapped to the MITRE ATT&CK matrix. So in this specific example, we can see multiple mentions of PowerShell executions. We can see the invoke Mimikatz PowerShell script that got executed, which is something that is definitely not good for the organization, as Mimikatz is a known malicious tool used to dump credentials from memory and view them as plain text. We can also see some mentions of credential access and lateral movement, which is suggestive that the attacker has gone pretty deep into the organization because of this specific threat that has occurred. So this view kind of gives a overall holistic view into what actually happened and what led to this specific threat being created. From here, what an analyst can really do is that they can start to reconstruct the entire timeline of events and map it back to the starting point. This process activity pane is kind of one of the most powerful views that is available for the analyst and is available in 4 different views. So it starts from the summary view, which gives a very high level view into what happened as part of this threat. We have a table view, which lists all of the events in a tabular format with some high level summary metadata that is attached to all of those events. We could also look at the timeline view, which gives a very good view into what exactly happened and at what specific time. This is the sequential view, which is kind of my personal favorite, as it helps any analyst understand and help answer some of the most pressing questions, such as for example, in this case, what started this suspicious PowerShell, what exactly was that PowerShell supposed to do, and did that suspicious PowerShell try to communicate externally to any of the outside networks as well. So all of those answers can be found within this sequential view. With that, let's start trying to understand what this threat actually did onto these endpoints. So it starts from explorer.exe, which is suggestive that a user must have clicked on a phishing link which downloaded this specific code injection sample.exe. And it started another process. As we click on this, we can view on the right hand side the related event details about that specific event that got created. For example, in this case, it's a process start event. And as we go down, we can see the exact command line that was passed as part of this process, related file information, the hash values, the path from where this process was executed, when was it created, and the user that got impacted because of this. All of this that you see highlighted in blue is something that is clickable, and this really helps an investigator to pivot their investigation from here to from here to other devices as well. So for example, I could click on find file on all devices, and that would do a real-time search to understand if this similar file is available and is present on any of the devices within my organization. So that's one of the powerful features that is available from here, which helps to expand the scope of the investigation very quickly. As we look forward, we see another file that got created with an extension of .dll, which is definitely suggestive that the attacker is trying to build persistence and hide behind some legitimate process on the endpoints. From here, we see another code injection sample.exe process that got spawned up, which further called two shell commands. And we could click on show all activity to really understand what those two shell commands were asked to do. So if we click on this partial.exe process, we can look at the command line, and it's telling us that the process is trying to call the vget utility to reach out to the open internet, which is probably suggestive that the attacker is trying to build the command and control onto this endpoint. Or it could also be suggestive that the specific malware file that this process started from is trying to download further files from the internet. As we look forward and try to kind of understand this, creates further files, a partial file that we can see that got created, scripts that got executed, network connections that got opened up, and some API calls that we can see all from within the sequential view. And that's the depth of data that gets collected with this EDRF platform, and it's very helpful for an investigator to kind of understand and very confidently say if a threat is a false positive, or if they need to expand their investigation and pivot it from here to other areas as well. But what really draws my attention is this red highlighted process here, and as we click on this, it opens up this event detail view, and we can see that it's a process start event, the name of the process, and the exact command line that was passed as part of this process. And if we look closer, we can see that this specific within this specific command line, we can see that this was asked to reach out to a open repository and download invoke mimikatz .partial script, and with the specific attributes of dump creds, which is definitely something that is suggestive of a malicious activity and something that shouldn't be kind of running onto our endpoints. From here, we can again see the files that got created and the scripts that got executed. The platform also allows us to gain deeper understanding of what that script exactly did, and it gives us a visibility into the exact code lines that got executed with that script. From here, what's also interesting to understand is that the attacker also utilized the whoami.exe command, which is suggestive that the attacker is trying to build persistence, trying to do some recon activities to understand what privileges this user has, or maybe even trying to move laterally from this endpoint to the others within the organization. So with that, at this point, we can confidently say that this is something which shouldn't be running onto the endpoints, this specific process. And if we go back to the parent process, this is what we want to kind of stop at this time from running in my organization. So as an analyst, what I can do is I can go back to the devices view on the same view. I can select all of these affected endpoints and look at the device actions drop down from here. And what I can see is that as an analyst, I have the ability to stop this process, or we could look at stopping and removing this process from all of the affected endpoints, or even quarantine this device from here. For the purpose of this demo, I'll stop the process for now. And as I click on stop process, The platform by default populates the related attributes of the parent process that further created all of the child processes that we just investigated upon. And as I click confirm, it will create a job which will go back to all of the affected endpoints and will stop this specific process from running further. At this time, what I also want to do is I want to collect some forensic evidence. So I'll go back to the sequential view, and as I know that this is the main parent process that kind of initiated all of the child processes, so I can see the take actions drop down from here, and as I click on collect single file, it auto populates all of the relevant information in this new view, which is the file name, details that get auto-populated, and similarly the path from where this file needs to be collected on the endpoints. I could click on the comments, and I could simply add a comment of demo for a webinar, and I click collect. As I'll click collect, it will again create a task on the specific endpoint, and you would see the collection task mentioned as in progress now. And we can look at the collected file from the collections view that I'll come to in just a moment. So at this time, this is kind of the first stage of our investigation where we kind of understood what this specific threat did to our organization. We could understand what exactly what was this threat doing onto the endpoints. We took an immediate response action of stopping this process, and we were also able to collect a forensic evidence for our future considerations without having to switch consoles or without having to switch UI. So all of this was possible from within this monitoring UI of the Trellix EDRF platform. From here, as an investigator, I would, and as I know that there has been a who am I command that was executed, I want to understand further if this specific attacker was able to move laterally, or maybe if these user credentials are being misutilized. So as I click on the username, I get a couple of drop down options to investigate further. And the third one specifically lets us to check if this user is logged on to any other devices within my organization. As I hit click, it takes us to the real-time search module within Trellix EDRF platform. And it's very helpful when we are investigating or hunting for a threat. It can help us search for any of the current running processes and events as they are occurring on the endpoints in real time. So that's the power of this real-time search functionality that's available natively within the platform. And as you see, as the real-time search functionality opens up, the query that needs to be searched onto the endpoints gets auto-populated automatically. So without having for an analyst to write it manually, or without having for an analyst to learn this query language first, it gets auto-populated by default, and it starts running on the onto the endpoints within the organization. So in this case, we see there are 4 devices that responded on this specific threat, on this specific search, and there are 2 specific devices wherein we can see the same username getting utilized, where the same user is logged in into different devices. So as an investigator from here, again, I have couple of action items that I can take on these affected devices. I could investigate this further. I have multiple contain actions that are available out of the box for us to execute. We have multiple mitigate actions as well that allows the investigator or the responder to take multiple mitigate actions from here. For the purpose of this demo and for this specific use case, as we know that the user credentials are getting misutilized, what we can execute from here is execute user logoff. And as I click on this, this action can be taken on these 2 devices that we've selected as part of our real-time search. So with that, we've kind of pivoted our investigation, and we've understood the scope of the threat, and we've contained that for the time being. From here, what I can do is I can go back to the monitoring tab for a moment, and let's see if Wise has some better recommended suggestions to make. As we hit Wise, it opens up this pane, and Wise is Trellix's generative AI capability that is natively available within the product. So as you see, it's available in 10 plus languages, which can be utilized by the analyst. It's available in two different modes. The interactive mode being more like a prompt based chatbot like experience, and the dossier mode allows to spin up a one-off document analysis report that summarizes everything that occurred within this threat and captures the relevant artifacts. For the purpose of this demo, let's go into the interactive mode and see what Wise has to think about this specific threat. So as you see, it summarizes everything with the key points highlighted as bullets. You would see the mentions of a suspicious file, that is code injection sample.exe. We see mentions of process being created, and we see mentions of who am I as well, along with the mentions of invoke mimicat script, that is a credential dumping tool. So you see, it's a very good kind of a summary view that is available for the analysts to quickly understand what this threat is doing, and specifically also explains what these specific tools like mimicads are capable of doing. So it's a very good starting point. For the purpose of this demo, let's also understand if Wise has some better suggestions to make. So in this case, we see that Wise suggests us to go to the real-time search dashboard to investigate. I'm sorry, to investigate uh, the specific process, which is code injection sample.exe further. It also suggests us to investigate the partial activity which created multiple processes. It suggests us to investigate the whoami.exe execution that we just did from the real-time search dashboard. It also suggests us to perform a Trellix EDR device search to gather additional information about this specific host. So with that, what we'll do is we'll pivot our investigation to the device search as suggested by Wise. I won't be getting deeper into the capabilities of Wise for the purpose of this demo, as we've recently concluded a dedicated webinar which highlights the generative AI capabilities of Wise, and you would see the links of those webinars as I speak on your screens. So with that, as Wise suggested, we click on this specific device and these three dots that are here, and it opens up a new pop-up which shows show historical device trace for this specific device. As I hit click, it will take me to the device search view. And as it opens up, the results are shown and categorized into different artifacts. In this case, you see we've collected close to 10,000 artifacts for this specific device, which is listed under processes, scripts, the dual intent tools, DNS requests that were made, and all of the related artifacts that Trellix EDRF platform feels is necessary for the investigation. In this case, we want to really understand if this device has been participating in any of the other detections and alerts. So I'll click here. And meanwhile, you would see that the detection window is auto-populated as 24-hour before and 24-hour after the detection date of the specific threat. This is because we started this search from an active investigation from the monitoring tab, and hence it auto-populates this to 24-hour before and after, but we certainly have an option to switch the time range as per our requirements. So as we click on detection and alerts, it lists out multiple of these events. In this case, we can expand the command line. We could bring the process name here and add it as a filter, and we could also add tactics as a filter because I want to understand what this specific process is trying to do on the environment. So we can see PowerShell.exe. is trying to do a lot of things. We can expand this command line to quickly see if there is anything malicious or of interest for an analyst. So here I can very quickly see that there are certain IP addresses that are mentioned, and as I expand this further, it suggests that this could be a command and control tactic that is getting utilized, which could be suggestive that the attacker is trying to maintain a CNC from this IP address and between the endpoint that we are investigating on. From here, there's an interesting functionality and a very powerful functionality within Trellix. So we could go back to the menu and we can click on IOC detection rules. And as part of this investigation, while we've done the initial response, but as an analyst, we want to further strengthen the security posture of our organization. So what we could do is we could create a new rule. And what we are doing now is we are creating a custom IOC rule, which would trigger whenever a particular IOC gets matched to the details that we'll be adding to this. So let's say webinar demo 1, description says Mimikatz example. The category could be, we could push this rule to multiple different OSs out of the box, but since this example relates to partial, we'll only select Windows. And we'll start adding conditions to this. So there could be a presence condition or the execution condition. The presence condition will start, presence condition allows us to look for the presence of certain IOCs on the endpoints, and the execution conditions alerts us of the specific IOCs as and when they get executed. For the purpose of this example, and we just saw that there is an IP address that we need to be alerted on. So we add IPv4 network as an event type, and we can add local IP as the subsection. We have multiple options to create this rule. So we will go with the contain option, and the IP address specifically that we saw, I'll just start adding it here. And we can then add another condition, which could be an execution condition, which relates to the sequential view analysis that we just did related to the process event. So what I really want to do is, okay, so first in terms of event type, we select process event, and in the subsection we could select the process command line as PowerShell, because that's what the threat was kind of doing onto the environment. We can further define the process path as anything that contains the mentions of Mimikatz. And we can further make this rule really specific by adding another process path which contains the attributes of dump creds that we saw in the analysis and investigations that we were doing in the past. And as I hit save, this rule will get created, and anytime in the future if a similar IOC match is detected, the platform will alert the analyst. So you would see the successfully saved webinar demo 1 notification, and it will get populated here. As I hit click, you would see the conditions that we just added in a summarized view. So we added a presence detection condition of this IPv4 address, and we added an execution detection condition with the command with the specific attributes of partial, Mimikatz, and dump creds. From here, so what I really want to do now is move to the collections tab, and this is probably the last thing that I want to highlight. So if you all remember, we just collected some forensic artifact related to the parent process that we were investigating. And as this page loads, you would see that this file, which you see here highlighted as demo webinar, is kind of still in progress. This could be because the file size is large and this might take several minutes to get populated, but once it gets collected, you would see it highlighted as collected here. But for the purpose of explaining, let's go into one other file that was collected in the past. And as I click on this, you would see the right hand panel that will pop up, and it will give the high level details about the file. I could go ahead and I could download this file from here, which is a password protected file because we don't want the analysts to execute a malicious file, but this is for the purpose of keeping that forensic evidence available with us, to be that can be utilized in the future to detonate in a sandboxed environment. So with that, what I also want to really quickly highlight is the automatic triage functionality that is available, that you would have noticed on this collections page. So what auto triage is doing is that it is in the background automatically collecting a snapshot of whatever is occurring on the host endpoint around the time of an alert or an event that we feel is suspicious. So it's a very powerful feature that is automatically collecting all the volatile forensic artifacts or evidences that an attacker wants to hide. So with that, this concludes our demonstration. And to quickly summarize, you've seen firsthand how Trellix EDR and its native forensic capabilities empowers investigators to uncover hidden techniques, reconstruct the sequence of events, and conduct proactive threat hunts using both real-time as well as device search capabilities. We've also demonstrated its powers to rapidly respond, collect crucial forensic artifacts, and create custom IOC rules for enhanced detection from within the same platform. Because of this, it becomes a truly powerful platform that significantly reduces the investigation time, brings visibility into every stage of an attack as and when it occurs, and improves your security posture. Let's talk more if you're interested to gain deeper insights into the power of the Trellix EDR platform. And with that, I'll hand it back to Swapnil.
Exciting. Thank you, Kastub. Let's go through why EDRF, the differentiating factor. This is fundamental. We don't see forensic as a separate module. Forensic is an integrated and a core building capabilities to get full story. We automated critical tasks like data collection and initial analysis. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about freeing up your valuable analyst time, allowing them to focus on high level analysis and strategic decision making, not manual work. The unified sensor stack is a game changer for comprehensive visibility. Trellix Wise AI converts raw data into clear, actionable insights for rapid response and prevention. A single pane of glass that covers everything: detection, investigation, and response provides unified experience. Finally and critically, you benefited from Trellix expertise. EDRF is backed by Trellix industry leading threat intelligence and our deep security research. You are not just getting a product, you are getting decades of cybersecurity knowledge and innovation protecting your organization. Ready to transform your endpoint security? If you are existing Trellix customer, reach out to your account manager to upgrade to EDRF. If you are a new customer, then scan QR code to request a demo. Select product as endpoint security in step 2. As we conclude our deep dive into EDRF, I want to emphasize that endpoint security is just one critical component of the broader Trellix platform. Our vision extends beyond the endpoint to provide a truly comprehensive solution for all your cybersecurity needs. The Trellix platform delivers a unified modular approach powered by a single agent to protect your entire digital estate. This means we are not securing your endpoints, but also providing robust protection across your network, data, cloud environments, and email. And critically, This is all integrated into an enhanced XDR, extended detection and response capability, which consolidate and correlates data across all these vectors. This significantly improves your overall SecOps, transforming raw alerts into actionable insights and enabling a proactive, holistic security posture across your organization. I'll hand over to Nick for Q&A.
Thanks, Swapnil and Kaustub. As a reminder for everyone, Trellix Education Services offers exceptional training to go along with our award-winning products. If you would like to learn more, please visit the website listed on your screen to see all of our offerings. Now let's get our Q&A session started. I see we have several questions, but it's not too late to add your question. Please type it in the Q&A window to submit. Additionally, take a moment to fill out the survey. Your feedback and suggestions are always appreciated. Are the forensic capabilities a paid add-on or part of the main EDRF package?
Hey, Nick, that's a nice question. So the forensic is an integrated and core built-in capability of EDRF to get full story. The best part is that you don't need to pay additional money for forensic as it is not an add-on. It's a part of EDRF package.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that one. How can I get these features enabled?
Yeah, so EDRF is available as part of the Trellix as part of the Trellix the Trixie One SKU, as well as part of the new packaging that's a Trellix Enterprise, Trellix Endpoint Enterprise, and customers with any one of this SKU will automatically get these features. If you don't have this SKU, then please reach out to your account manager to get upgraded to EDRF.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that one as well. Does EDRF support any offline searching capability for threat hunting?
That's a really interesting question. So yes, so EDRF collects trace, process, and correlates the data to provide a view of everything that was happening on the endpoints. When there is a suspicious activity on the endpoint, and you want to know the details of the activity, such as a script executed, malicious file extracted, external connections established. That's what Kastub mentioned in the demo and showed, or etc. So on the endpoints, and you can search for malicious artifacts on the endpoints using the Trellix EDRF device search and historical search capabilities. This helps you to analyze how the threats occurred in the systems and what triggered it.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that one as well. It looks like that's all the questions that we had for today's session. I want to thank everyone for joining today's webinar, and a big thank you to our speakers, Swapnil and Kostub. As a reminder, a link to today's recorded presentation will be emailed to all registered attendees. For our ISC Squared members, please note that we are currently unable to bulk submit ISC credits, so attendees will need to self-submit at this time. We are actively working on regaining the ability to process these in bulk and hope to have that available again soon. Thank you for your understanding. This concludes today's webinar. Stay safe, everyone.